I'd just like to welcome everyone to this Sustain Early Stage Career Researcher Call webinar. So the agenda for today is just up in front of you now. So I'm going to give a quick introduction and then pass over to Professor Cameron Pleydell-Pearce for more info about Sustain and the vision of what we're trying to do. Then we have a session by Dr. Hollie Cockings, who is doing the mentoring and the more of the sort of the career development side of things as part of this and mentoring. And then we split into two parallel streams for particular areas of expertise. So the first one is in breakout room 1 that I'll be leading, and that's looking at scientific challenge 1, which is the high temperature reactions and kinetics from Peter Holleman, and also scientific challenge number 2, which is computation and modelling and big data from Professor Arnold Beckman. Running in parallel to that, we'll have a second breakout room with scientific challenge 3, which is characterisation and modelling from Professor Mark Rainforth, and then challenge 4, which is metallurgical rules, which is led by Professor Claire Davies. Following that, we'll have a quick Q&A session, and then we'll close the meeting. So just to quickly introduce the various people who are in the champion and the scientific lead positions. So we've gone through this pretty much in the last slide, but Peter Holleman he's a Swansea professor, and he's an expert in high temperature reaction kinetics, and he'll be leading the scientific side of those calls and giving advice and help to people who are applying for that. Similarly, Arnold Beckman from Swansea, he's taking the lead on the computational modelling and big data, so machine learning, all that sort of thing, Industry 4, blockchain, ideas like that. And then, of course, we've got Mark Rainforth from Sheffield for the characterisation and modelling, and Professor Claire Davies from Warwick for metallurgical rules. And then following in a session just after Cam's, we'll have Hollie, but we have both Hollie Cockings and Liz Sackett, who are providing the development champion support. And these guys you'll be able to get in touch with and have a chat with about the various ways to do things and any support that you need going forward in terms of putting proposals together and just general advice, that sort of thing. So following this session, we're going to have some surgery sessions where you can ask more detailed questions. We've got a list of names up there if you want to take a note. You can email info@sustainsteel@swansea.ac.uk to book a 20-minute appointment with any of the people up there, depending on the area. I'm on there for application queries, as is Cam. But as I say, if you've got any questions for any of the areas, please get an email in and get yourself booked a 20-minute session. So with that in mind, I'll pass over to Cameron Pleydell-Pearce for more info on the vision.
Okay, thank you, Richard, and welcome everybody. I'm Cameron Pleydell-Pearce. I'm a Deputy Director of Sustain, and I just wanted to provide a little bit of an introduction to the programme for those of you who might not be familiar with it, and then a little bit of the reason as to why we're running this call and what it's all about. So Sustain is an EPSRC funded future manufacturing hub that runs over 7 years, and it's supposed to provide another transformation for the steel industry. These are some of our values. I just wanted to highlight this specifically because one of the important parts about this is really about a collaboration for success. So it's important to try and get people working together effectively, and also responsible innovation and career development. That's really important to us because ultimately the hub's not going to be a success unless we're encouraging the next generation of leaders in the field, scientifically and industrially speaking, to really secure the future of the industry. And that's one of the big drivers behind this call. So the initial structure of Sustain, and it's important to highlight that it is initial because this is really a nucleus for what we really want to grow into a much larger thing, is a hub based at Swansea with spokes at Warwick University and Sheffield University, and then a whole series of different innovation partners who are really trying to help us deliver as we take technologies from the fundamental scale up through the TRL scales. We've got some quite ambitious targets around productivity, GVA, employment, and also from a scientific perspective in terms of making our community world leading in this area. And really what we want to be able to inform back is really important information that the steel industry has to make at this critical point for them on informed investment about what technologies they're going to use to move forward, especially in relation to the challenges that face the industry around decarbonisation. So this nucleus we are trying to grow, and very recently we funded some work with Durham, Cardiff and UCL University. So we're trying to grow this network all the time, and that will be sort of contributing to our research orbit here, and then that offers the opportunity then to work with a wider range of partners, including trade bodies, that's what all of these acronyms are around here, and innovation partners. So a lot of these are catapults or IKCs, so things that are really designed to try and take technology forwards and get them applied into industry. And then there's a broader network of people that, you know, we haven't funded yet or may not fund, but still we really want to openly and actively engage in the process. And so we're really trying to build that really broad network across both the industrial and the academic base that we can introduce the members of our consortium to. So there's two sort of modes of funding really for this program. The first one is the Grand Challenge research areas, and this is the stuff that we really defined at the outset for the application, at least for the first 3 years of the program. We've got 5 themes around emissions management, utilization, zero waste steelmaking, data-driven innovation. Data-driven innovation, smart low energy production, and new processes for new products. And then we've got a whole series of tasks that underpin those around, for example, carbon capture utilization, waste reprocessing, looking at how we can use societal waste streams in the iron and steel making processes and make better use of scrap. Looking at what we can do from a digital and data science perspective, but also from a sort of physics-based modeling perspective, through process modeling perspective. We're looking at how we can improve the energy efficiency of the process and introduce new disruptive processes that might substantially change the carbon footprint of the industry, and also develop sensor technologies and of course look at the fundamental metallurgical challenges that are important across the different industries. So where this pot of funding is coming from, this call is coming from, is what's called our platform activities. And if you think of the Grand Challenge research areas being delivered by this Grand Challenge research funding, which essentially is all of this stuff in the triangle up here, really what we need then is a strong base of skills to underpin that. And we've identified some 4 key scientific challenges that we kind of are looking to put those into. I wouldn't, if you feel looking at these that what you have in mind doesn't necessarily align exactly to one of those 4 areas, we don't want to dissuade you from applying to the call, but this is the way that we've structured it in our heads, and I think every application will be judged absolutely on its merits. So that's characterization monitoring, computation modeling, big data, high temperature kinetics, and metallurgical rules, and that's what Richard highlighted earlier on. So the last point I wanted to make really was, well, why join and apply? We're generating this critical mass and we're growing all of the time, so you'll be joining a vibrant community of people, and we're very supportive and open and collaborative, and we really want to try and encourage people to be successful academically, but also potentially in terms of applying their technologies into industry. We are in a good position to support people with industrial engagement. So again, if you don't already work with industry, that's not a problem here, and we can certainly help to try and facilitate discussions with industry around your ideas. It's really good for you guys, I think, to try and develop a strong track record and gain experience of funding. And you can gain experience whether you're funded or not, because going through this process will certainly, of the application and the evaluation, will certainly be something that would stand you in good stead if you were to subsequently apply for a fellowship or something like that. So it's also a lot about training and developing skills around attracting funding. And the really important part for us from a selfish perspective is that we really want to bring new and exciting ideas to the hub and complementary expertise to the things, some of the things that we're already doing. So I think I'll pass over to Hollie now to provide a bit of an update about how we'll try to support you through that process.
Okay, can you see the main slide there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Okay, so yeah, good morning everybody. My name is Hollie Cockings, and I'm here today in more of a mentoring and support capacity. And I'm just going to quickly go over my role here as part of the Sustain ECR platform funding call, and what sort of benefits a mentor or development champion, as we're calling ourselves, can offer you as part of this journey. Oops. Okay, so as Cameron and Richard both mentioned, as part of this ECR funding call, at any point in the process, you'll be able to contact myself or Dr. Liz Sackett. So we are your development champions. So both Liz and I are fairly early career and we're industry sponsored lecturers. We're both based at Swansea University. Unfortunately, Liz isn't able to introduce herself today, but I'm going to try and do my best to give a little summary of her bio. Her expertise lies in steel metallurgy and processing, mechanical properties and residual stress strain measurements and mapping. So Liz has got lots of experience in postgraduate and commercial research in various alloys. She's collaborated with a number of leading international companies and she's supervised a number of postgraduate projects as part of this role and her previous role working with the Materials and Manufacturing Academy. She's now looking at investigating steel formability, processing with a focus on nano indentation techniques, and she's also our College of Engineering Athena Swan lead, focusing on bringing inclusivity to our college. She's a co-I on the EPSRC RAP Prosperity Partnership and also on the Sustain Manufacturing Hub. So, as for me, my area of expertise is generally quite broad. I am working on narrowing that down, but my main area of focus is within high temperature reactions and material degradation, primarily looking at high temperature corrosion, corrosion fatigue, oxidation, and surface interactions. So I've not always been involved in steel research, however. My background is in the gas turbine industry, where I've worked on simulation of aggressive environments, in particular in nickel-based superalloys. So my aim now is to continue to translate and apply that experience to the steel industry. I'm currently supervising projects that focus on cleaner emissions during iron making and sintering, waste recovery, in situ oxidation, and steel susceptibility to hydrogen embrittlement. I'm the academic or administrative project manager of the EPSRC RAP Prosperity Partnership and also a co-I on the Sustain Manufacturing Hub. So that's probably enough about us. This is about you and your development. So as you know, this call will allow you to apply for PI funding, which is something that would not normally be accessible as a researcher. So this is therefore a huge opportunity for you and your career progression. This call enables researchers to build a platform to launch you into your further funding opportunities, such as fellowships and career progression. So as mentioned, some of those career pathways might include fellowships, academic faculty, senior research positions, all of which will sort of reflect well, this process will reflect well upon. So as I'm sure you know, successful applicants will have the opportunity to develop and manage their own research programme and funding, which is again something that's not normally possible as a researcher. So our role as development champions. So as I mentioned, Liz and I are still both considered quite early career academics, and therefore we've been through things like the recruitment process and the promotion processes quite recently. So we hope to be able to share these experiences with you and discuss how to best channel your professional development. So we're here to help guide you through this process in more of a peer support capacity, as opposed to technical or administrative, right from conception of the project to application and completion if successful. We're also here to help you see the benefits of the process. As Cam mentioned, even if you are unsuccessful, this journey will be a really valuable experience and stand you in good stead in any sort of future applications that you go for. And then upon completion of it all, we will then continue to help and mentor you throughout the project and help aid your future development. So as Richard touched upon, we are running some surgeries. So if you are planning on applying to this call, Liz and I will both be running some surgeries on the 11th and 17th of November, where it'd be great to meet you and we'd be happy to answer any questions and just start off with some informal discussions. So you can just contact the team on the email that's on the screen and book on or get a bit more information. So with that, I'm going to hand back to Richard and Cameron and wish you the best of luck with your applications, and I hope to meet you soon. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Holly. Right, I think it's about time now to go into the sessions. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. If you're ready, I'll open the breakout rooms and then we'll go into those parallel sessions.
Excellent. Right, I'll see everybody in session 1. Are we all back? Brilliant. Looks like we are. Okay, right. Thank you everyone for staying with us through the webinar. We've had some really good questions there in the first session. I'm sure it'll have been equally as good in session 2. So now we have the last few minutes for general Q&A.
Obviously, there's a whole series of additional support measures in place that you've already highlighted. You know, I'd highly recommend that you guys sign into those so that you can continue the discussion. I imagine that you've had some good pointers in the breakout rooms, and I did dip into both of them briefly and saw some good discussions going on. So that will sort of help you to sort of form an idea, and then, you know, we're on hand as a group to try and help you curate those and turn them into to good, strong applications for this fund. So please, I think that's the important next step from this really is do take advantage of those things and enjoy, you know, generating your idea.
I think that's about it. I was just going to finally reshare the surgery dates there. So if everybody just makes a note of the sessions that they might want to join, and obviously the email address info.sustainsteel@Swansea is the email address to book the 20-minute sessions. So I don't know if you've got anything else you want to add, Cam?
No, I think Hollie just wanted to say for the mentoring sessions, Liz and I will be running them jointly, but we'll be enabling breakout sessions as well. I think that's what you were saying.
Good. Good stuff. Okay, well, we'll close the webinar, but just to reinforce, if anybody has any questions, please, you know, get directly in touch with myself or Cameron or Hollie or any of the industry leads, the academic leads, and let's you know, let's see some really good proposals coming in.
Sure, there is actually one. Sorry, there is one thing that I just wanted to stress if it didn't come up in the breakout sessions, and that is that obviously if you already have an existing contract which is running for some time yet, and this is not something that you're looking to bolt on to an activity that you're already doing, and it involves a discussion with the PI about what that means for the program that you're working on, then we're willing to support you through that and have been in contact with the fund with EPSRC, as we kind of feel that will probably be most cases for our research areas, to try and support both the PI and yourself to make sure that there's no barriers for you to be able to apply. So that was just one other thing, and if those discussions need to happen, I'll be more than happy to address those in my surgery, either with the PI or yourself or both. So that's just another important point to raise.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. Well, I think that's about it, everyone. So thank you again for joining us, and looking forward to seeing some really good proposals coming in. Thank you.